Will Boeing get another blow, a big blow, this time by Northwest Airlines? Stay tuned. We will talk about what's going on and what are the chances. Will it become a race between the Boeing 737 MAX 7 and the Airbus A220-300? What are the chances for Boeing that they can win this one? Is Southwest Airlines willing to make a major change in its fleet? Will they break tradition, a long-lasting tradition for several decades, at the cost of Boeing? Like, subscribe and share. Hi, welcome to a new video of mine. Finally there is some news regarding an order, and not like an order has been cancelled again, delivery has been postponed again. No, this time it's about an order for 300 brand new 150 seat aircraft by, this time, Southwest Airlines. I don't know why I still have Northwest in my mind, but maybe because I saw a lot of Northwest Airlines DC-10s, 747s and A330s, even I think 757s maybe, at Amsterdam airport back in the days, and I really loved especially the last livery they had. Anyways, Southwest Airlines, known for having an old Boeing fleet, only 737s. They have the 700, the 800, I do not know if they have the 900, and they ordered the MAX 8, and now they're looking at replacing the aging 737-700s, and logically they would purchase the MAX 7, but they seem not to get through the negotiations with Boeing, GE and Safran. That's a problem. And if this doesn't get resolved soon, and it doesn't look like it's getting resolved, otherwise it wouldn't reach the news, then it could become a pitch between Boeing and Airbus, meaning a tender, meaning you start comparing the two. Which two, you would say? 737 MAX and the A220-300. You may say, yeah, but they're not exactly the same. Ah, that's true, but it's clear what Southwest wants. They want 150 seats, more or less, and they have a certain network. So there is a requirement for range. In this case, not a large range, but quite limited range. And so I will show you some technical data of both aircraft, and you will see how 737 is not going to cut it. And I'm not talking about the 737 is a 1950s design that has been upgraded and upgraded and upgraded. I'm not saying it's a bad aircraft, but it's difficult to compete against clean sheet aircraft. But that is not even the main reason. I mean, you could say that the A220, previously the C-series, is a lighter aircraft because, yeah, more composites, new materials, okay, new technology. But aside from that, there's more. Actually, two very different aircraft. And we have seen how both American and Delta already decided to switch from Boeing 737 series to the A220. They even went as low as the A220-100. And there is good reason for this. It's about capacity, it's about the need for range, it's about the lightness, which means efficiency, and it can even mean paying less taxes at airports because the aircraft is lighter. So yeah, look at the figures. So required seating capacity 150 seats. If you look at both aircraft, we see that the 737 has a larger capacity, a much larger capacity. Basically it's a different category. 172 is closer to 180 than to 50. Where the Airbus A320-300 is really close. So on that point, they win. When we look at the comfort of those passengers on board, we will see that the A220 winning again. Then we look at the empty weight, and that's what I mentioned already earlier. Newer technology, but also smaller aircraft, and it's a difference which you will notice, especially with aircraft that are almost never on the ground, that are constantly in the air. You will notice a different consumption. And then the range. Many may say, hey, the 737 has a much better range. True, but I wouldn't say better, I would say larger range. Just look at what the Japanese airlines have done back in the, I think it was the 1980s, when they wanted high capacity short range. So domestic flights with huge capacity. Boeing adapted the 747-200 and later the 747-400 to have a shorter range, which meant they had less fuel tanks on board, which meant the aircraft was lighter. That was simply to save costs. So having all this capacity for the routes that Southwest has, no. Again, it's not a win. But I won't put it as a win for Airbus, because maybe in the future they could decide, because of whatever reason, new market opening, they could say like, yeah, we can use that little extra range. But for all the routes now, and I just checked it on Google Earth, no, it's plenty of range. Everything falls within the range of the Airbus. And then we have runway length, the required. And as you know, or as you may not know, you need more runway length for takeoff because of an emergency brake that you may have to do, and that is more than the minimum landing distance. So that's why I chose to only mention the takeoff length, and that one can actually be a breaker. For regional airports, it can be expensive to have a runway that is 200 or 210 meters in this case longer. So many runways are around 2000 meters. And here again, Airbus wins. These were the main important technical specifications that will determine the choice. At least first part of the choice. There's another factor, and that's the backlog. Boeing can be proud that they have a backlog of 3,243 aircraft at this moment. That is for the 737 MAX series. There is not like a production line for one or the other variant. It's just 737 MAX. And the same counts for the Airbus A220. And as you can see on the screen now, is that there's a big difference. A huge difference. Meaning, if they're not willing to wait for 5 years, or maybe I should say 7, because of all the delays of around 2 years now, which one would you choose? I mean, they can try to ramp up, but that's never going to work. Where Airbus actually has 2 production lines. Or do they already have 3? I think they have 2, just 2 for the A220. Because they have one in Mobile, Alabama, sorry. And they can ramp up and like really quickly deliver if needed. I mean, 300 aircraft, that's 60% more, out from the top of my head, 60% more orders for the A220, with a potential increase if they decide, and this could be a factor to go ahead and please Air France by developing the A220-500, which was already in the design of the C series, the 500 series. So this could mean that eventually Southwest would say, well, we love it so much, if you're coming with a 500 variant, we would like to have that one too. And that would mean a bigger shift towards Airbus. So this is really going to be painful. And yeah, most of you know that I'm generally an Airbus fan. Yeah, I'm from Europe. It's not the reason. I just do not like the mentality at Boeing, which changed when they took over McDonnell Douglas, and it went from an engineering company building really solid aircraft to just a money-making machine. And we see again all these accusations about production lines, not just of the 737 but also of the 787 again. And then what they're doing, they're just looking how they can cut more costs by moving away out of Seattle towards, I forgot where, but to that other location where they can pay less because there is no union, which means they really don't give a shit about their employees. And what do you get when you don't give a shit about your employees? Your employees don't give a shit about you as a company. And that's why there have been so many delivery issues from the second plant, with even an entire ladder was forgotten in the tail of a 787. All the rubbish found in the fuel tanks of the 787. It's a disaster. I almost want to say it's a total disaster, but that's not, because they haven't yet stopped production. But if things keep going the way they're going, Boeing is going to keep losing. And yes, they lost a lot of money, so they need to cut costs where possible, or not, or they should actually change the way they do business and look at how can we make such a robust product, have such quality, that there will be no more fines, that there will be no more problems, not alone prevent crashes due to technical reasons, and then making it a no-brainer, like, oh, Boeing is so damn good, we'll pay extra just for a guarantee that we won't have any problems. Now it's the opposite, like, I'll pay more at Airbus, but at least I know my aircraft will be flying, will not dive into an ocean, will not be grounded, it will be flying. So I will be making money. And that little bit that I'm paying more now, or even on the maintenance maybe, it's worth it because I'm actually making money. And that's something that the management at Boeing is not looking at, because that's way too focused on the stock exchange and all the shareholders will make every year. And so it's not about the real profit, it's just about the shares. If the shares grow, the stock, the shareholders make money. And so coming back to this decision now, Southwest Airlines, I keep saying Northwest, Southwest Airlines will be looking at when can we get these aircraft, which will reduce our costs of maintenance, our running costs, fuel consumption, and yeah, the choice is going to be relatively simple. Even with having to retrain a lot of their pilots gradually, so it won't be like a huge problem, but even those costs may be worth switching from Boeing to Airbus, at least to replace the 737-700s. And like I said, in the future, it could mean that they would purchase the 500 variant as well. So let's see where this is going. Of course, I'm sure that Boeing will offer huge discounts just to keep Southwest on board. maybe even go as low as production cost, or even below that, with whatever financial construction they will come up with, just not to lose one of their biggest clients. Of course, Airbus could then start fighting then for unfair competition and stuff, just like what they did before with the C series, Boeing versus the C series. But still, in the end, Southwest will look at the long-term benefits, where Boeing has been looking at short-term. So much, in fact, that they actually started to lose long-term. So let's see where this goes. I will keep you updated if there's news, and I will probably record a short video or make a short live regarding another subject. There is some other news from another company that I would like to share with you. Sad news, but yeah, it's major. So stay tuned. Subscribe so you won't miss. Hit that bell icon. I do not upload that often, but it's an extra reason to hit that notification bell, because if I upload once a month, then at least that one time that I do upload, you will notice. See you soon. Have a wonderful day. If you disliked the video, you do this. If you liked it, thumbs up, share and subscribe. Also, check out my Patreon page. There you can support me and get access to exclusive content. Get more. Check it out in the link below.